Got two more things buttoned up here. I did connected the fuel lines and then this vent line going back to the air filter setup. I'm hoping that that fuel setup, at least temporarily, is going to be able to gravity feed good enough. So I added a filter in, added a shut off, and like I said, I just had to extend those cables out to where the tank is. Other thing I just got done, I ordered a T-handle and a regular. I like the T-handle better, the little chrome T-handle, choke cable. It's just a Dorman universal cable, and ran it down here, got it set up to the carburetor over here on the choke lever. At this point, I'm going to leave this kind of set up just like that until I'm sure that it's going to work how I want it. But if I just pull this lever, goes over to the start position, push the choke back in, boom, right down to the choke off. And so it works nice and smooth and easy. The other one was just, it was brutal. The old one was just a mess. And so that one works nice. I like that. That pretty much ties that up. I got a bolt in today. It was only a 4-inch though. I'd prefer the 4.5, but the 4-inch is going to work for now onto that clutch assembly. I have the 4.5 inches coming in at some point, probably another week or so though. Those were not as quickly able to get those. So now all I need to do, I'm going to put the air filter back on. I'll fill the tank up with gas. This probably end up doing this tomorrow. And I will jack up the back, put the back on jack stands as well, and see about firing this up to see, one, I mean, I'm assuming it'll run. I know the motor runs. I've ran it before on the go-kart. But I'm curious to know if I have the clutch assembly and the tension on this correct, so it, see how much it's going to need to be adjusted. I'm hoping that it'll just fire up and go. So I'll be doing a test hopefully tomorrow. Well, so far it's been pretty good, and only thing was a small issue was being that my wife and daughter are a little shorter. The gas pedal was getting a little harder for them to reach, so I just made a quick foot pedal, gas pedal extension here. Again, just a block of wood, painted black with some rubber on the front of it, and then I used some metal strapping around it to hold it nice tight and solid on that gas pedal. That ain't going anywhere, and I'll probably end up just leaving it on there permanently. I have no problem with the gas pedal being a little closer, so, and this way they can jump on it whenever they want to. Well, it actually runs good. It's a good, decent setup. The speed is good for my wife and daughter. She just took it earlier, and I just took a ride with her again a minute ago down the road and had it pretty much wide open, and that's enough for her. What's happening though is that this belt keeps coming off here, and the problem is because the kit came with rubber basically mounts to go under that plate when you're mounting, have some flex with that plate. And these Yamahas actually have rubber mounts too on that whole engine assembly down below. But I was talking to a buddy about putting this together, and he's like, yeah, I'd rubber mount it. He rubber mounts everything, and usually I would say that works pretty good. I'm like, I'm gonna do it too, because it'll probably just dampen some of the vibration or whatever off this, because it's basically a lawnmower motor. However, what's happening is that too much flex on this with that rubber mount, too much. I'm gonna have to solid mount this puppy now. I'm gonna take the whole motor out again and pull those rubber mounts out, put solid metal spacers in here, and then bolt all that down, and that should reduce the flex and stop this belt from spinning off. Because in general, when this thing isn't flexing, that pulley is straight on with the generator. So what's happening is that when the whole motor is kind of flexing and moving and twisting, the belt starts to twist. And as you can see, it's twisted right now. And eventually it keeps twisting, and then it twists off to the back of the belt and then flips off. So, not a big deal. I mean, I already went through the hard part of getting everything all set up, and I'm using spacers that are the same height as what's in there for the rubber spacers. So everything should line right back up when I put it all back together. Just a word of caution, careful about rubber mounting these things if you want to have those pulleys line up. Well, she's all back apart again. Got the motor out, changed those rubber mounts to solid. And the other issue I was noticing too, between the belts, this you can see is the stock one. See how narrow that is right there? This is the replacement. See how wide it is? I don't think it was dropping down well enough into the pulleys, and it would stick up too far. I think that might have been part of the problem I was having as well, between the motors shaking. See how this belt sits properly? It sits down nice in both of the pulleys, this one and the generator. And see how this one sits up high? It doesn't want to sit down into that groove. I think that's part of the problem we're having. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this one for now. I need to get it replaced when this one's cracked, so I will end up taking this, or I'll take that to an auto parts store, knowing it has to be narrower, and see if I can get one just matched up that'll fit and work nice with it. Yeah, so hopefully that'll work out. The other good thing, the timing is just right now, because I had to pull the motor anyway. I was just able to get in touch with a guy out close to New York line, out in Connecticut, and I am picking up a G2 cart that I guess their business had a whole bunch of carts there, and he's moving the business, and they were junking a bunch of things. I'm picking up a G2 that he has, the whole cart. It was going to be a couple hundred for just the rear end from him, 200. And then I said, well, I need the cable and going off to the switch and the whole assembly. And he's like, do you want the whole cart? I'm like, yeah. So I can get the whole cart for $300, got a utility bed. And I may do a conversion of that front end off of that cart onto the General E and use that for making the lift kit. And that front end still has problems. I took it out again today. It's a mess. So that may work out perfect. That'll give us the reverse for this cart. It'll let me get it back together and pretty much finish it up, except for a few small things. That'll finish up this cart, because I had it and it ran great today. Took it around everywhere, except it's squirrely and it's really bad on that front end. So I got to figure out a solution for that. But I think that cart might be able to do it. So that's about it. There'll be a few days before I can get over there to get that cart and then start working on this again.